Hey everybody, it is Quicken, and welcome back to 5 Fact Friday, a little weekly question and answer on the old channel. So, it's great to see you guys. It's kind of been literally a week since I've posted a new video. Lots of stuff going on. It was my birthday, so I took off for my birthday, and then 2 people from my job went on vacation, so I ended up picking up extra hours. John got a boot on the truck, and then I went home to celebrate my birthday, so it just turned into this whole thing where I literally had no time. And I had backup videos, I've been filming in between, but I haven't had time to sit down and edit them. So that's what happened. But I'm super excited to be filming this today. Oh, he's so small. I love Olive. I love him! It's not about favorites, it's just about how much I love a little boy. The littlest boy ever born. You getting cat food? Welcome back to 5 Fact Friday. Pretty exciting week. I feel like exciting in the fact that I've been doing a ton of stuff. I was invited to shop at Buffalo Exchange this week. Crazy stuff. And it's cool to just come back to you guys and do a little Q&A. So I opened it up on Twitter. You guys can follow me over on Twitter. I do stuff like this on there. That's at qcknd, the same as my Instagram. Some good photos happening on my Instagram in between. Here we go. So the first question I'm going to answer is, what is it like living with 3 cats rather than just 1? So I live with 3 cats now. I live with Olive. We have a cat, PB, which if you follow me on Instagram, you might remember I found her a week or 2 after Ryan died, just this all-white cat in an empty abandoned lot, and I was just like, is this a sign? So when I couldn't take PB in, I asked John about it, and he took PB in. She had the tattoo on her stomach, so she actually was neutered, and we kept her. So living with 3 cats, it's like a lot. I love each cat, and each cat has so much personality. And yeah, I'm about to talk about cats, but each cat really does have their own personality and things that they like. Like Ethan, for example, I feel like he's a really huge personable personality. Sometimes I really think that there's literally a person inside of him. Ethan really likes people food, so if you're eating around him, he wants to smell it, he wants a bite, he goes after all the plants. I don't know, he's he likes to taste. He's a taster. And Ethan, he'll definitely, if he needs attention, he'll definitely, do something that causes you to have his attention. PB, our girl cat, she's so different. Her face is very small and little baby, and she is pretty vocal. She squawks, which is a little different. PB won't eat people food, but she wants to smell what's on your plate if you're eating near her. But she's really territorial. When we first got her, we got her a cat bed, and she didn't leave the cat bed for 2 months. And I was like, all right, this is pretty easy having 3 cats. That one never moves. Since we moved my couch in, PB is only on the couch, and she's pretty territorial of the couch. She doesn't want the other 2 cats in her business. So she'll become vocal around them and she'll hiss. But she's if you go on the couch though, she's super, super lovey. She wants to sit on your lap. She wants you to touch her head. I love her. But yeah, you'll never see her in my videos because she doesn't leave the couch. Ever, except for when I feed her. She'll come up to the bedrooms if I'm sleeping in, or if I wake up and I'm on my phone for a while, she'll come up here and she'll be like, ah! And I'm like, oh, all right, I'll feed you. But she doesn't come up here very often. If she does, everyone's like, oh, PB's on the steps. It's a huge deal. Olive, he's the youngest. He's a little goblin. Our neighbor had found him and gave him to John at a really young age. Olive used to be really, really mean. Like, I did not like Olive. Right after Rye passed away, all of us kind of made John's house like home base, and a lot of like 2 people who were staying here didn't want to stay here anymore because of Olive, because he used to bite. I just felt like Olive just needed to be loved, so like even though he was biting and scratching a lot, I would still hold him and like hold him really tight and like let him know that like petting was nice. No one had ever pet this dude. And I think it's just because he was like maybe abandoned very, very young. Now he's super, super lovey. Like, if you follow me on Instagram, every morning I wake up and he's just like wants some kisses and he wants some attention. And I really, really love him. He's so sweet. He's the first long hair cat I've ever had, which is great because he doesn't shed, but like he gets like kind of matted and he doesn't like to be brushed, whereas the other 2 cats really do. Living with cats with like, they all have their own personalities, it's pretty satisfying. I really like it. You know, I've said before, like, I had no idea I wanted pets, and I didn't say that to be ungrateful. Like, I love my dudes. I'm even looking at Ethan right now. Like, it's really great and it's really fulfilling. When I get home, I'm so happy to see them, and I love them so, so much. So, my little babies, they're all so different. And it's great living with them, but you know, we do have like 4 litter boxes set up and we have to keep on top of them all the time. And like the little one, like I said, he gets matted, so you got to take care of him. And PB, we got to do her nails like more often for some reason. You know, if you're responsible, and it does help to have 2 people after them instead of just 1. When it was just me and Ethan, like, I was the main source of all his like affection and attention and playing with him. So it's really cool that all the cats can interact. None of the cats really get along with PB, but Ethan and Olive play all day. It's really cute. As a barista who enjoys specialty coffee, what are some of the best coffee shops and your favorite coffee shops in Philadelphia that offer specialty coffee? So this was a pretty good question. My whole approach on coffee in Philadelphia, a couple years ago, like, I used to want to get the best coffee and go around town to find the best coffee. And I used to go to Green Street Cafe. I think it's on Pine Street. Like Pine and, I don't know, like 13th, if I'm making up a number, maybe 11th. I used to be really into coffee like that. Now I'm kind of a, like, locational girl, and I'm also somebody who, like, I like to go to coffee shops that serve soy milk, and I feel like soy is on everybody's shit list. Like, nobody wants to serve soy milk anymore. So now it's kind of like, I don't drink coffee black anymore. I like read something that you should at least put something in your coffee to break it up so it's not super like acidic and stuff when you're digesting it. There's so many articles and theories about coffee that you really have to choose what you believe. And atmosphere is kind of a big deal for me too, especially if I'm gonna sit down and drink coffee. Sometimes I feel like some coffee shops are too fucking cool, so I'll be nervous about that. So it's easier for me to say the coffee shops I like don't really go to anymore. Like La Colombe, if you've maybe heard of it, they're like pretty successful for like an indie kind of chain. I know when I went to New York, they had La Colombe, and what other city did I go to? I never leave Philly, but La Colombe is a pretty popular one, but they don't have Wi-Fi, and they don't have soy milk, and they don't have like vegan food items. Their iced coffee is really, really, really good. Don't get me wrong. Like, if I get over not liking oat milk, whatever. But if you do dairy, they have a really amazing lineup and menu. They have a draft latte, which is like kind of out of control. They have a Stephen Powers mural in their one shop in Fishtown, which is totally dope. He's one of my favorite like mural artists, street artists, graffiti artists out there. He painted the sign for Rose Tattoo. Like, he's that dude. But La Colombe, like I said, no Wi-Fi, so if you're gonna go there to do work, I remember one of my YouTube videos, online etiquette, I wrote the script for that inside La Colombe, and which is kind of ironic because I didn't have access to the internet while I was writing it, which maybe was a good thing. So if you need to go somewhere, I guess, and not have access to the internet, it's pretty good. And if you don't like soy milk, or if you drink your coffee black, their coffee's really good. I don't tend to go though for that. I like to go to Reanimator. It was kind of my home base all summer. I really, really recommend them. They have really good takeout coffee if you brew at home. I get a bag of coffee from Reanimator like once a month to have stuff at home, and then every day I was going there, but I have moved neighborhoods, and now where I live there aren't any coffee shops, so I'm making coffee at home every day. It's kind of a drag, but that's how it kind of is. So I do love Reanimator. They have 2 locations. When I am out and about, I get coffee a lot at Soy Cafe. After being single for several years, how do I get myself back out there? Also, how do I let people know that I am interested? So, dating politics is something that I definitely get into a ton of conversations with people about as of lately. I think that dating in 2018 and 2017, or now, dating right now, is pretty challenging and unique. And through the conversations I've had with a lot of people, I keep getting back to the same thought. It's a shared thought with like whoever I'm talking about, and it's kind of like the idea of FOMO like also exists in like dating world. And like people, like if you have a dating app, you scroll through people and you're like, well, what if I find somebody better? And then, you know, if you go to a bar or whatever you do, like, what if I find somebody better? And over the summer, like, to be like completely candid, like I feel like the people like I talked to or who like I was interested in were definitely playing that thing too. Like I remember I was talking to a guy a couple times, and I swear he was like waiting for me to impress him. And I was kind of just like, well, it's all out there. I dropped out of college, so if you need that, I don't have that. Beauty school, if you need that, I have that. 5'5", if you need that, there it is. What else? And that idea that I needed to just like come out and impress him further, like was always kind of there, you know? It's pretty weird. And like no one really wants to make plans with you anymore either, unless like your plans are like the best plans. And I'm just like too painfully low key for that. So in all of that, like I can't knock dating methods, like I really can't, but I found a lot more comfort like just talking to people, and people who aren't online, you know, that's just what I really liked. So I think, you know, Olive, I think it's gonna be so challenging just because dating has 1,000% changed with social media, and there's so many nuances and different things on there, like, oh, like how long until you post something, like, oh, do they have photos of their ex, like, oh, this person seems to be liking their photo a lot, like where does this thought process like borderline on like psycho, and what do you see that you bring up, what do you ignore? It's kind of crazy. And because all of us kind of have this social media footprint, it's pretty out there who we used to date, and you know, it only takes a couple scrolling back to like see who their ex might be, and then you compare yourself, and it's a pretty wild shit, I gotta say. So when I was kind of faced with all those like ideas and circumstances and everything, it was like pretty overwhelming, and like the best of luck to you. All I can say is if you want to let someone know that you're interested, honestly, roll the dice and tell them. Because like the guy I was talking to was just like waiting for me to impress him. It got to a point where I was like, so like what is going on, you know? And I feel like people will either give you like excuses or they'll make you feel bad, like, hi! They'll be like, oh, I was just liking your photo, like I think that you're cool. And you're like, what's that mean? So I feel like if you need to cut to the chase and be like, I'm interested, like I think I'm interested in you, like do you want to hang out? Or like what are you looking for? I think some people out there, like, aren't interested in dating, or maybe they, like, are talking to somebody, and it's kind of hard to know because we're all putting out, like, so many different vibes all the time. You see his tail. And yeah, it's really hard to know. But I think if everybody does a better job about, like, stating their intention, you have a lot more control. So I feel like you can't lead anybody on if you state your intention, and don't eat the plant. And feelings can still get hurt, but you're still in a lot more control. That's how I feel. But I don't know, it seems difficult. It seems fucked. So I'm gonna close with, what's the best and worst thing about being an influencer, and do you have any advice for noobs? So I don't wanna make this like a generalized kind of thing, because everybody, you know, no matter like what your niche and like what your thing is and what your focus is, like everybody kind of has their own thing that they do on social media that they're good at. And I don't want to say, like, as a lifestyle influencer, this is what's hard. I just want to say, like, for me, what is hard, or like what is the best or the worst thing. I think the best thing, maybe I should do the worst thing first so I can come full circle. I think you guys, like, unless this is your first time to my channel or you're new here, I think, like, I'm pretty open about how, like, negativity is very, very impactful to me. So the negative is always going to hurt, and there's not a ton of room to talk about it because people will always counter you. And people don't want to hear what you have to say in a negative aspect, because people want to say, like, oh, you put yourself on social media, you put yourself on the chopping block, and you give me the right to chop. I'm like, okay, but ouch, you know, it hurts. And I got some comments the other day. I was like, hey, this is inappropriate to say to me. And then somebody commented back and they were like, all you do is talk about the negative, like, I'm sick of it. So even defending yourself, like, is a double-edged sword. And I'd love to create, like, an idea where I can be open about the things that hurt my feelings. And for a while I thought, like, hey, respond to comments that you don't like in a way that is clarifying and neutral. So I wanted to say, like, hey, if you don't like this content, maybe you should unsubscribe. Or, hey, it's inappropriate to ask this sort of question on a video that doesn't even, like, touch on that topic. That's too personal, you know, but that didn't really go well. So I was like, all right, just fucking delete it like you were. So if you, like, I feel like if you have any insecurities, if you are someone who deals with insecurities, if you have a hard time with body image, if you have any sort of flaw in your mental ability, it's going to exploit that in the worst possible way. Like, if you deal with mental illness, I'm just letting you know that will completely come forward, and there's a ton of recovery. And it sucks that I spend so much time recovering instead of just, like, making content and being happy. But I, like, unfortunately, I don't think it'll change. I think it'll get worse and worse to a point where we learn a new dialogue to, like, I don't know, to change it. And, like, what I mean by that is, like, even today, like, I saw something, like, under the title of, like, social justice. Like, I saw somebody attacking somebody, like, in the name of social justice that just, like, went a little too far. And in that, I was like, oh, like, I feel like I'm a pretty progressive and, like, in, like, favorable, like, PC culture and stuff. Like, I feel like I'm a person like that. And even I'm like, that's too far. Like, that's too far. So, because that is kind of a new phenomenon to me, like, something being so hyper PC that it, like, kind of dissolves the message, I think with that there will be a new kind of culture on the internet where somebody being hypercritical or nasty, like, with no regard, will get pushed into this new, like, well, that was unnecessary. Hoping for that. But in the meantime, that's the worst part of being a social media influencer. Like, it's not, I don't know, like, I bought a magazine the other day, and in the magazine, like, I'm flipping through, and I saw one look, and I was just like, yuck. But that's in my head, and it doesn't go anywhere, and that's how it used to be, you know? Or you would show your friends, you'd be like, yo, I gotta show you this one thing in this magazine, it was yuck. And that's kind of, that dialogue and that criticism stays really local. Now criticism is widely received and like sometimes praised, and when you're praised for being critical, then sometimes you're like unboundly critical. Like it's coming up everywhere, because like if 50% of the time you're rewarded for it, you're just gonna pull it out of nowhere. So this like crazy critical culture, it's kind of hard, you know. Whoever designed that dress in the magazine, they put it in the magazine and that's where it went. But for me, it's like I put a video out there and people, they get really personal with me, or they're like hypercritical of me, and like that's hard to digest. But you know, when I address people about it, it usually comes back to, well, you put yourself out on the internet, so you should anticipate this behavior. So I do anticipate it, and it's harmful to me, and sometimes like some really painful shit I had to recover from. So that sucks. But I would say some of the best things about being like a social media influencer, like it could sound corny, and like you'll always meet people who are like weird about it. But it's really cool to just like be creative, and be creative whenever you want. Like you can tap into it whenever you want. Like sometimes like one of the more worst things about it is it has created this thing where I'm like pretty like addicted to social media. But yeah, it's definitely cool to participate and be a part of it, and like kind of be in the ranks, and it feels good to be creative. Outside of like being an influencer on Instagram, like being on YouTube is like one of the best things. I love being on YouTube and creating videos. Social media is one of those things that the people who are interested in it, and the people who want to be on board and want to like walk beside you, it's cool to like have something I can lend to people. Like it's always cool if somebody's like, oh, I'm trying to post this thing, can you help me out? And I'm like, yeah, actually maybe I can. That's always cool. It's cool to lend things to people. And like I said, it's really cool that I can exercise creativity all the time. It's pretty awesome. It's cool to talk about what you like and what you know, and bring something to the table, and bring questions up, and talk about different topics. And even last week I was talking about like the retail apocalypse, and it was cool to talk to you guys about it, because like I can talk to my circle, but to like show it to the world is always awesome. And it's cool, the opportunities that come along with it. And I'm really grateful, you know, for the opportunities. But yeah, I mean, you hyper expose yourself, and you can never get that back, even if you ask for it. So there's that. But then like, it's a cool ride. Like if this goes somewhere, and if this channel becomes bigger and more opportunities come my way, like I'm super excited for them, and I can't wait, you know. I think it'd be really cool. But at the same time, it's really, really cool to, I don't know, like make an income and, you know, make a living doing this stuff. And I like it. It's challenging and cool. It's a job if I was on the outside, I would definitely want to be in it. So it's cool to be in it. But yeah, it sucks because it's really easy to talk about the worst part, because I would love reform, and it's something I focus on a lot, and it's a conversation I have a lot at home. But you talk about the bad things because they hurt you, and then you focus on the good things, and they uplift you, and they bring you to the next level. So that's cool with me. That's what I like. Like I said, like I'm here, I'm on board for the next wave where we take like trolling and just like unnecessary shit and like overexposing ourselves to the negative all the time, which clearly has adverse effects on us. And I hope that we take that culture and it just like gets even like scooted to the side like a little bit. Because I'm here for, you know, the internet to be like a safe place again and like a chill place where we all hang out, you know, and that's what I'm here for. I love trying new stuff, I love being creative, and I love putting it out there. I love the response and the relationships I've made and having a place to talk and communicate feelings. It's been very chill. So yeah, this is 5 Fact Friday. Thank you guys so much. Let me know down below what is up with you guys. You can always leave questions down below as well. I would love to do 5 Fact Friday maybe next week, but I might do a monthly favorites next week, so that's probably in the works. But stay tuned, like I said, for the videos I have on ice. I have some like home stuff that I'm definitely doing a lot of. So forgiveness for like, yeah, the last video I made was like retail apocalypse, but I have been buying stuff to decorate the house, which has been a lot of fun and fulfilling for me to, you know, buy some new stuff and decorate. I've been watching this like style challenge kind of thing on Netflix, which has been like really inspiring and like getting my wheels turning. So lots of cool stuff there. And monthly favorites in the works. My birthday was cool. Thank you to everybody who wished me happy birthday and went out of your way. That was very, very cool and chill of you. And until next time, bye.